Why is it I seem to have this black cloud that just won't stop chasing me down? I merely went out to get some gas for my car. It was Monday, July 28th, 2025, mid-afternoon. I headed out to fill up my vehicle with gas before my camping trip to Ludington, which was the next day. I had no idea the National Weather Service had issued a severe storm warning with flash flooding. As I pulled out of my driveway, the sun was out and it was hot. There were some clouds, but nothing that would indicate what was coming. Halfway to the gas station, and just a few miles away, it started raining. Within minutes, it was pouring, to the point I needed to pull over because I just couldn't see. So I sat in the parking lot at Sam's Club near the gas pumps, awaiting the rain to simmer down. Well, that never happened. Instead, it stormed horizontal with shopping carts flying across the lot. One actually hit my car. At this point, I was worried a tornado may be in the works. I managed to get my gas with the heavy rain falling over the roof like Niagara Falls, and the parking lot was filling up with rain, too. I had never seen it rain this hard in my entire life, and it all came down so fast and so hard. The parking lot was now a lake, with people scrambling to get out of the lot, making the chaos even worse. Cars became quickly engulfed as the water just kept rising. I found myself now, instead of driving between the lines, I'm trying to avoid the wake. This is one serious storm. But hey, there's no such thing as global warming, right? Yeah, right. Where did all this water come from so rapidly? Seriously, I have never seen it rain like this before. This is just crazy. The shopping carts started collecting by the low areas with the rain levels increasing by the minute. This rain just kept falling hard and fast, and it wasn't stopping. So I had to make the decision to try and make it home somehow safely. I had no idea what was in store for me. The ditches had turned into rivers, quickly filling up underpasses and stalling out cars and leaving many people stranded. I heard emergency sirens coming from all angles. The side roads became rivers, and the main roads were even worse. I was finding it very hard to find a road that had the least amount of flooding to get me home. Incredibly, this is actually a side street. So now I had no choice but turn onto a main road, and at the coming light there were cars stuck in the road with water everywhere. The rain finally stopped. I then followed this van turning left at the light, now headed towards the lake. Lake? I was in a lake. After the turn, all of a sudden the water got really deep and I no longer had control of my vehicle. At this point, I was forced to the right, and when my car finally stopped, it was teetering on an angle, with water pouring in. The water started filling up my vehicle quite fast. Now I was getting really scared. I called 911, and they told me to stay in my car with my seatbelt on. So apprehensively, I waited. It had now been more than 10 minutes and the water was rising up over my seats. I was terrified. My car may tumble over, so I called 911 again in a panic. I was instructed they were coming. The water had now found its way to the driver's side, right under my feet. The passenger side was inching up almost to the window at this point. Every time a big truck came by, I held on for dear life. They created a huge wake, causing my car to rock like it was a boat. It felt like it was slipping further down the ravine. Why would they do this to me? Some people just don't care. Okay, it's been over 20 minutes now and still no 911. What the actual fuck? Thankfully, a good Samaritan came by and asked if I needed help. I told him 911 told me to stay in the car with my seatbelt on. So judging by my situation, we both agreed 911 was nowhere to be found. I needed to get out of my car. So he graciously helped me out and across the road, which was now a lake. As I waited for 911, another kind person stopped to ask if I was okay, and then she graciously gave me her umbrella. While I was waiting, thankfully, several young men came by and offered to help me. They called another friend who owned a Jeep, and within minutes he arrived. I found myself amazed with this very kind gesture that was unfolding in front of me. How gracious these young men were. I didn't even know them, yet I was so proud of them. They proceeded to hook up my vehicle to theirs with a tow line, so I could be pulled out of the ravine and onto solid ground. I really wish I would have got their names so I could call out their outstanding human kindness more personally. They really helped rescue me from a life-threatening situation. I just really want to thank you all from the very bottom of my heart. Your kindness and help was appreciated more than you will ever know. 911 rescue has still not arrived. How disappointing for our rescue service. Being so vulnerable in such a dangerous situation, with 2 calls for help, as my car was filling up with water and teetering on the edge, and it felt like it was ready to tumble. I had lost hope in 911 at this point. If I stayed belted in as they commanded while the water level kept rising and my car was rocking on an edge, who knows the fate that may have occurred. I understand there were a lot of people that were stranded, but this was an emergency. The young men who helped me were so brave, and their kindness was overwhelming. These were high school kids who were raised well with human compassion. And while they were towing me out, rescue finally arrived. They didn't even bother to come over. One of them just yelled across the flooding water asking if I was okay. Wow, really? And to make themselves look even more pathetic, they just stood there and watched the young men save me. I was appalled by their lack of service and the response time. Then they just left like they were never even there. Wow. Once I was out of danger's way of the deep water, my car was opened and the water fiercely started pouring out. And at this point, I feared my engine was toast after being submerged for half an hour in the water. I couldn't believe it. The water just kept pouring and pouring out. I just stared at my car in horror, wondering how could this happen. All I did was go out for gas, and it wasn't even raining. Now, as I watched with anxiety, I thought to myself, how was I going to dry this out? Was my motor seized? Was all the electrical shot? Would my insurance even cover it? The young gentleman then proceeded to tow my car further off to the side of the road. And then they were off to help another woman who was stranded right behind me who had the same issue happen. I stood there for a while going over what just happened and how lucky I was to not have gotten hurt, or even worse. I thanked God, and then I called my brother. He arrived rather quickly. He said they didn't get the storm that Saint Clair Shores did. Together we pushed my car to a safer area up the road and then called AAA for a tow. To top off this stressful day, AAA did not arrive at the scene for over 3 hours. I know there were many others that were stranded as well, and I guess I just had to wait my turn. But 3 hours? Come on. I guess the good part of it was that it gave me and my brother some good quality time to chat as we waited for AAA to come and save me. My car was finally brought to my home and dropped off in my driveway, to no surprise where I found my road, my yard, and my house all flooded. What the actual fuck? All I did was go out in early afternoon to get some gas in my car, and all hell broke loose.
Flash flood warning that has come out within the past few minutes. This one is for central and southern Macomb County. This goes until 7:15 this evening.
We continue to track the heavy rainfall moving through with flash flooding issues. This one is actively flash flooding. This is not a damaging severe thunderstorm. It's heavy rainfall in a very short period of time. Do not drive through floodwaters. Absolutely make sure you stay away. One more reminder for you. 6 inches of moving water, that's able to knock somebody over. 12 inches of moving water able to float the tires on a vehicle. Never drive through floodwaters. It can splash over your hood, it can wreck your engine, and then you're stalled. Then you gotta wait for somebody to come get you. You're in the middle of a torrential downpour, you don't wanna have to wait for that. Do not drive through flood waters. Make sure, again, you heed all of the warnings for tonight.
All sorts of problems around Metro Detroit, including flooded roads in several areas. Michigan State Police are asking drivers to slow down and not drive through water covering roadways.
This shit just got real.
Record-setting rainfall causing all sorts of problems around Metro Detroit, including flooded roads in several areas. Michigan State Police are asking drivers to slow down and not drive through water covering roadways.
Heavy rain stemming from slow-moving thunderstorms triggered flash flood warnings earlier today for portions of Wayne and Macomb counties.